So, welcome in this session on academic writing. This is a very, very important area, especially for scholars who are just beginning their academic journey. University is a center of research, and it's important for you to know how to write, scientific papers for your academic growth. So, let's go into the meat of the story, um, or the meat of this particular topic, to see the importance of academic writing. So, what is academic writing? This is a fundamental skill that enhances scholarly activities of students and researchers across disciplines. You can be in the natural sciences, you can be in the social sciences, you can be in the humanities, and all these areas need academic writing skills. This is the highest form of writing. When they are placed in gradation, you'll discover that academic or scientific writing comes first because in the modern age, it is science that determines, that's actually the heart of modernity. Science is the heart of modernity. It leads to discovery of new ideas to solve problems in life. And so, as a researcher, this is an area that's invaluable to your growth. It encompasses a range of practices that enable individuals to articulate their ideas, present research findings, and engage in a scholarly discourse. When you talk about scholarly discourse, we are talking about scientific conversations. That Sigmund has discovered this, Carl Jung has discovered this, but what do I think about what these discoveries? Scientific discoveries are all tentative. They are not permanent. They can be overturned, they can be extended, they can be interrogated, and all these are very important aspects of scholarly discourse. Yeah, so what is the important? What are some of the features or the tenets of academic writing? One is clarity in communication. It is characterized by clarity. It facilitates clear and precise communication. Scholars must convey complex ideas and arguments in a coherent manner and in a precise manner. Here, you say what you mean and you mean what you say. There is no space for ambiguous explanations, winding explanations that do not hit the nail on the head are not allowed. Academic writing employs specialized language and conventions that convey authority and credibility, that when they write, you just know these are experts, and every area, whether it is software engineering, whether it's computer science, or it is history or media studies, there are special words that are supposed to be used. And when the experts use these words, you just know that this is an expert in a particular area. But in spite of the specialization, a clarity in writing is very important to facilitate expression. Yeah. So disciplines such as sciences require precise terminology for discussing methods and findings. When it comes to natural findings, methodology must be very precise because a poorly articulated methodology means poor results, means poor results. The how determines the what. And so if a method is poorly articulated, it shows even the high findings are floppy. So academic writing enables students to present their ideas effectively in their academic discussions, publications, and even presentations. Because at the end, research has to be taken to conferences to be shared. Another important aspect of academic writing is critical thinking. Engaging in academic writing requires critical thinking, a skill that is essential for scholarly inquiry. When students write academically, they must analyze existing research, synthesize information, and develop their own arguments. It's a section in research called literature review, where you are supposed to critique what others have said. That, as I said, Sigmund Freud has said this, Carl Jung has said this, but this is what I say. The question, so what, is very important. If this has said this, if Galileo Galileo said this, so what? So what do I say? So a good scholarly paper must answer the question, so what? Mm. If A has discovered this, B has discovered this, what do I think of their discoveries? And that is what we call a gap, in academic writing. And you cannot find a gap without critical thinking. So writing assignments often require students to engage with various texts, analyze conflicting viewpoints, and construct well-reasoned arguments. Yeah. So the well-reasoned argument is about the ability to locate a gap in existing studies. We have empirical studies, we have theoretical studies, and then you are supposed to get your own gap to fill. Another important aspect of academic writing is the ability to contribute to scholarly discourse. Discourses are scientific inventions and scientific ideas that have been published. And so you should show an ability to contribute something new to the existing researches. So researchers and students share their findings, insights, and interpretations with the broader academic community. But you cannot do this if you are bringing nothing new. A scholarly discourse must add something new to what already exists. So each paper contributes to an ongoing conversation. So in other words, we are saying in academic writing, you cannot just come up with things out of the blue. No, good academic writing must recognize that others have said something related to what you are writing. Um, yeah, yeah. So you don't just write things out of the blue. That's why when some people say, must you quote, must you quote what others have said? It's because they don't understand the nature of scientific writing. You know, a proper study must evaluate what others have said, one, to avoid replication of studies and to avoid plagiarism. If a study has already been done, then you don't need to do it. And how do you know that? By critiquing past studies, by delving into past studies to see whether your study has been done or not. And if similar studies exist, then you recognize them and then point out your gap. Um, and as you do this, there is something called academic integrity. You need to recognize what others have done. Anytime you quote somebody's idea, you must have an in-text citation and a reference at the end of the study to do what? Um, to acknowledge that this is not my idea. Failure to do that um, um, is tantamount to plagiarism or academic theft. If you cite Nyongesa 2024, but you cannot acknowledge him, then you have stolen his ideas, and therefore you have committed an academic crime. So integrity in research is very important, enhancing research skills. So academic writing enhances research skills, yeah, because it shows you how to critique literature review. It shows you how to write an academic paper. It has an introduction, problem statement. It has methodology. It has a discussion section. It has findings. So academic writing will enable you, yeah, to strengthen your research skills. Yeah, yeah. You cannot be a good researcher without this particular subject. So effective writing often stems from effective research practices. If you are able to locate the right sources, evaluate them, synthesize information, paraphrase in your own words, and write, as you locate the gap, you tell us methodology, you go to the field, you do the research, you get the results, and then come to answer the research questions and all that. And that is how new ideas are discovered to solve problems in the society. Yeah. Another important aspect of academic writing is preparing professional communication. Um, so the skills developed through academic writing extend beyond university settings into professional environments. Many careers demand strong writing skills. Yeah, for example, writing reports, grant proposals, or academic publications. So you cannot publish a great book or a great article without proper academic writing skills. You cannot write a grant proposal to win without proper academic writing skills. And grants are very important because they bring development in the society. They solve real problems in the society. You cannot write a thesis and go through without proper academic writing skills. And that's why it's important for us to gain this particular skill. Another one is it enables you to build your identity as a scholar with the proper research skills. You will write reputable publications with the proper research skills. You attend conferences and make impact. And through that, you also increase your citations. I talk about Chilembembe. Chilembembe is one of the scholars who has, more than 15,000 citations just in one book. And because of that, he has made a mark in the research field, and he can attend conferences and mentor other researchers in his field of expertise. So it's also it's also important, especially for graduate students. It gives you the skills to write theses, to write dissertations, to write projects, to write research papers. You cannot attain graduate studies. You cannot do graduate studies and succeed without proper academic writing skills. Strong skills enable students to engage more deeply with the coursework and also with their research at master's and PhD level for them to succeed. Academic writing is also related to peer review and collaborative research. In a peer review, we're saying that when scholars write papers, the peers, will go through those papers and see whether there are new ideas worth publication. And the peers will therefore give comments. They can either reject the paper, they can give a major revision, they can give a minor revision, or suggest changes and whatever to ensure quality control for proper publication of works. So in academia, peer review is very important. Fellow researchers, fellow doctors, fellow professors will go through papers in that area to give advice, to ensure quality and improve. Yeah, and also there's something else called collaborative research. Researchers can come together and then they write one paper or they write one book, and each contribute their knowledge and skills to make that work very high quality. And in fact, collaborative researchers sometimes win grants. Like when you write a grant as a group, because of the multiple nature of the giftings and talents, that grant can come out very successfully, and you solve a problem in the society. You can also publish an article or a book collaboratively, and because of the different contributions, the quality will be heightened, and you make a better contribution to the research world. And of course, that's what we call collaborative scholarship, where researchers work together to produce a very, very high quality work. So academic writing is in collaborative settings often results in co-authored publications. You find a book authored by 6 people, 3 people, 4 people. It's not like creative writing where Ngugi wa Thiong'o or Francis Mbuka just writes a novel or a play. In academic writing, collaboration is very, very important. So thank you for listening to me. I just wanted to give that introduction to academic writing, and I want to encourage you, to venture into the field, because academic writing can give you a career. Academic writing can result to knowledge that solves real problems in the society through grants, and it can also give you a very powerful identity as a scholar. I've just given you examples of people like Achille Mbembe, Franz Fanon, and others who have really made an impact in the research world. Thank you so much for listening, and I also encourage you to subscribe to this channel. To support it for the growth of knowledge. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening.